My name is Ryan. When I was in high school, there was one person I never wanted to see. Her name was Emily. She was my biggest enemy. Every student in school knew that we couldn't stand each other. We were always competing. We argued about everything. Grades, projects, even small things like who was the better team leader. To everyone else, we looked like two people who hated each other. But the truth was, nobody knew the real reason behind our rivalry. When I first entered high school, I was one of the top students in my class. I worked hard because I wanted to make my parents proud. I spent most of my time studying and preparing for exams. Then Emily appeared. She was smart, confident, and always one step ahead of me. If I got the highest score in a test, she would get the same score or even higher. If I won a competition, she would challenge me again. At first, I admired her. But slowly, admiration turned into competition. I started seeing her as someone I needed to defeat. One day, our teacher announced a big school project. Students had to work in pairs. Everyone hoped to work with their friends. But when the teacher announced the pairs, I couldn't believe my ears. My partner was Emily, the person I argued with almost every day. I thought it would be a disaster. The first week was terrible. We disagreed about everything. She said my ideas were too simple. I said her ideas were too complicated. We spent more time arguing than actually working. But then, something changed. One evening, we stayed late at school to finish our project. For the first time, we stopped fighting. We started talking like normal people. I learned that Emily was not arrogant like I thought. She was just someone who wanted to be successful. She put pressure on herself because she was afraid of disappointing her family. And she learned that I was not just a competitive person. I was someone who was afraid of failing. That night, I realized something. The person I thought was my enemy was actually someone who understood me the most. After that, things started changing. We still competed. But it became a fun competition. We helped each other study. We shared notes. We encouraged each other before exams. People at school started noticing the difference. They couldn't believe that the two people who always argued were now spending time together. Of course, we didn't admit our feelings immediately. Both of us were too proud. I kept telling myself, she is still my rival. But my heart didn't listen. I started caring about her. I noticed when she was tired. I noticed when she was worried. I noticed the small things that other people ignored. One day, Emily was having a difficult time. She failed an important exam for the first time. She looked disappointed and wanted to give up. I sat beside her and said, "You're not losing. You're just having a bad day." She looked at me and smiled. Then she said, "I never thought you would be the person who encouraged me." I laughed and said, "I never thought I would care about my enemy." That was the first time we both realized our feelings had changed. We were no longer fighting against each other. We were standing on the same side. After graduation, we went our separate ways. We studied at different universities and started new lives. But we stayed together. The person I once wanted to beat became the person I wanted to protect. Looking back, I learned something important. Sometimes we judge people before we truly understand them. Sometimes the person who challenges you the most is the person who helps you become better. Emily was not my enemy. She was the person who pushed me to improve. She was the person who showed me that love can appear in the most unexpected places. And sometimes, the best love stories don't start with "I like you." Sometimes, they start with "I can't stand you."